Alright, hey everybody, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. Today I want to talk about companion planting. I'm sure a lot of people right now are preparing their tomato starts, their pepper starts, their eggplant starts, and companion planting for those specific plants will only benefit you in the long run. So we're going to discuss those three members of the nightshade family and companion planting plants to plant with them. Let's grow. Okay, so right here behind me is the pepper bed. Now, one of my pepper beds. I have another pepper bed over there, but we're gonna focus on this pepper bed right here. Now, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of flowers right here. We've got peppers all along here, and then we've got these two plants right here, and marigolds. Now, to be completely honest, the marigolds are volunteers from last year. I did not plant them specifically for companion planting, but they're not really gonna hurt the peppers either. The plants in this bed that were planted for companion planting with peppers is the thyme, which both of these plants are thyme, and this is alyssum, a white alyssum. As you can see, the alyssum has kind of gone crazy right here, but it's a very thin rooted plant, so it's easy to pull out and it won't bother your peppers. Now, what thyme and alyssum does do is they bring in beneficial pests that will help attack the two main pests to pepper plants, which are the pests being leaf miners and the other one being aphids. Those are pretty much the two pests that peppers really have to deal with. The alyssum here will bring in parasitic wasps, and so will the thyme, that will target the leaf miners, which is a little bug that mines between the two layers of the leaf on pepper plants. You'll kind of see it, it'll look, if you have them, they'll look like little roads inside the leaves. That's how you know you have leaf miners in your pepper plants. But the parasitic wasps can get through the top layer, target the leaf miner, and kill it. You can also plant radishes with your peppers. Just let them go to flower. Same with carrots, you just let them go to flower. And also onions. Onions will also help mask the smell of your pepper plants from the leaf miners. The second pest are aphids. Now, aphids are just, you're gonna deal with aphids everywhere, especially in a warm climate like here in the Houston area. But again, the sweet alyssum, the thyme, sunflowers, oregano, and mint will also bring in ladybugs, which will absolutely destroy aphids. But a warning on mint, do not do what I did. Never ever plant mint in your garden. You can never get rid of it. Mint or spearmint they are a weed, and you cannot get rid of them once they're in the ground. So if you're going to use mint in any way, shape, or form around peppers, do it in containers and make sure there's no way on earth for that mint to get into the soil. Once it's in, it's in. You will not get rid of it. As you can see here, the peppers are doing really well in this bed. Now over in this bed, I have marigolds and really nothing else protecting these. So I have to get companion plants in this bed very soon. But that's really it for peppers for companion planting. Now, let's go over to eggplants. Now, eggplants are kind of the same as the peppers are, but they have a few different companion plants that really do well with them. In this bed right here, I've got 6 or 7 different types of eggplant. Now, right beside the eggplant are a bunch of onions. These are all onions. I've got marigolds. So for eggplants, their main pests are going to be deal with the flea beetle a lot. Now, you want to plant crimson clover, if you can, around them. You could also do a mustard, any kind of a mustard to be kind of like a trap crop for those flea beetles, and it'll leave the eggplants alone. You can also plant carrots, the same thing as with the peppers. Let them go to flower, and those flowers will bring in beneficial insects like parasitic wasps, tachinid flies that will target the pests and kill them. Also, sweet alyssum is another one for the eggplant. So if you're seeing a correlation here, a lot of the same types of companion planting work great for both of these two members of the nightshade family. So eggplants you want to stay on top of. I had some issues with one of my eggplants. It got nailed by those flea beetles, and I didn't companion plant properly for the eggplant. So don't let that happen to you. Start preparing your companion plants now. while you're also starting your starts. Or if you're like me and you've already got them in the ground, get the companion plants in the ground now so they're prepared for when the warm weather hits and all the pests come. Okay, now that being said, we're gonna finish this video with the superstar of the garden, and those are the tomatoes. Okay, one plant I did forget to mention for the eggplant to companion plant with are radishes. Again, the exact same thing with the carrots. Let them go to flower and they'll bring in the parasitic wasps and the beneficial insects. Okay, tomatoes. Tomatoes. Right off the bat, you want to protect your tomato plants from the hawk moth, which will lay the eggs for the tomato hornworms. Once those hornworms get into your tomatoes, they are going to start decimating them. So if you can prevent the hawk moth from finding your tomato plants, then you're already one step ahead of the game. And how you do that is with basil. As you can see all through here, I have basil everywhere. Now this entire bed is nothing but tomatoes. I've got 8 different varieties of tomatoes in here that are all vining tomatoes. They are all indeterminates, so they are going to climb to the top of this trellis and probably even higher. So right now, the basil plants are going to put out a smell, the smell of basil, and that smell confuses the hawk moth. It doesn't know where to lay its eggs because it can't find the tomato plants. The number one plant to companion plant with tomato plants are basil. You cannot have enough basil around your tomato plants, I promise you. So plant your basils now. Get them going so when you start putting your tomatoes out, you're already ahead of the game. And standing right here where I am, I can smell the basil. So there's no way that the hawk moth is going to find these plants, at least not right now. Now another great companion plant for tomatoes is just the exact same one as the peppers and the eggplant, and that's the sweet alyssum. Again, the sweet alyssum will bring in the parasitic wasps to help control pests on the tomato plants or around the tomato plants. Alyssum in 3 beds, all kind of in the same vicinity of my 3 nightshade plants that we're talking about. And in this bed, because I want so much protection on the tomato plants, I've planted radishes. So we have radishes coming up everywhere now, all through this bed. And as you can see, they're right there, right here. Now, one thing I love about Baker Creek at rareseeds.com is that when you order a certain amount of seeds, they will send you free seeds. A lot of times they send me wasabi radish seeds. Now, I did a harvest and taste on wasabi radish, and I'll put a link to that video right here, last year, and there is no chance on earth I will ever eat another wasabi radish. But I use those seeds for companion planting. Why not, right? If they're gonna send them to you, use them. You don't have to eat them. Let them benefit the plants that you are going to eat and that you want to grow. So radishes, again, you're gonna let them go to flower. Those will bring in the beneficial insects. Same with carrots. If you can plant onions around your tomatoes. These 2 plants are my single seed challenge plants for 2023. Those are both tomato plants. And as you can see, I have the exact same onions all around these plants, along with these basil plants that are now growing around these 2 tomato plants. There is no reason on earth not to double up, triple up, quadruple up. Put as many companion plants around the plants you want to protect as you can. There's no reason not to. And in the long run, all that's going to do is benefit your harvest. All right, everybody, so that's the video. Really quick, down and dirty, right to the point. Now, one thing I didn't cover is companion planting is the organic way of using one crop or multiple crops to benefit other crops. So if you can do it, why not do it, right? It just makes sense, and it'll be less work for you. If you can keep the hawk moth away, you don't have to worry about tomato hornworms. If you can keep aphids away, you're not gonna be worrying about them on your peppers or on your tomato plants. So it will do nothing but benefit you and your garden in the long run. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, please like the video, please share the video, especially with beginner gardeners. Companion planting is it's a no-brainer for me, and I will always companion plant in this garden on this channel. Till next time, everyone, take care, God bless, continue to shine bright and harvest hard, and I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye. All right, a little bonus footage here. I thought I would show you all radishes that I've allowed to go to flower. Now over here in this bed, I let all these radishes just grow. And I've actually thinned them out once I put in the asparagus. But this is what it looks like when the radishes go to flower. They're pretty little flowers, and they will bring in beneficial insects. And I wanted to show you one more thing. When you're talking about companion planting, it can also be bringing in pollinator attractors. This entire corner right here are nothing but flowers. That entire corner down there is nothing but flowers. And then all through the garden, I have flowers intermixed with my vegetables. You want to have about a 30 to 70, 30% flowers, 70% vegetables ratio in any of your gardens. You want the pollinators to come in. So don't forget that. Now, on that subject, I have to show these flowers. Okay, I am a sucker for marigolds. I don't know why, but look at how beautiful that marigold is right there. That is just unbelievably beautiful. Okay, so one last thing. I learned about companion planting from this book right here. The author for this book is Brian Lowell. He runs Next Level Gardening and Next Level Homestead here on YouTube. This book I have read easily 4 or 5 times cover to cover, and anytime I have any questions on companion planting, I come to this book. If you're interested in the book, the link is down below in the description. And I cannot recommend this book enough. It is super easy to read. There's not a bunch of big, crazy scientific words that you can't pronounce. This is literally for beginners. I mean, it says it right there, for beginners. And it really is. Even if you're a beginner gardener or a seasoned gardener, you can always learn something new. Every time I read this, I learn something new. If you know a gardener who could totally use it, click the link below, get it, and hook them up.